In this video, we are going to cover the political thought of John Locke. Biography. John Locke, 1632–1704, was an English philosopher and physician, widely regarded as one of the most influential thinkers of the Enlightenment and the father of liberalism. His ideas shaped modern political philosophy, epistemology, and constitutional government. Early life and education. John Locke was born on the 29th of August 1632 in Rington, Somerset, England. His father was a lawyer and a supporter of Parliament during the English Civil War. Locke studied at Westminster School and later at Christ Church, Oxford, where he was educated in classics, medicine, and philosophy. Although he found traditional scholastic philosophy unsatisfying, Locke became deeply interested in science and medicine, influenced by thinkers such as Francis Bacon and Robert Boyle. Career and political involvement. Locke served as a physician and secretary to Anthony Ashley Cooper, later the Earl of Shaftesbury, a leader of Parliament faction in England. According to Maurice Cranston, Locke learned his liberalism from Shaftesbury. In two tracts on government and essays on the law of nature, both written around 1660 to 1661, Locke postulates human condition as conflictual and hostile, mitigated only by a benevolent God providing a set of rules for the direction of human beings. Young Locke defends the extensive powers of the civil magistrate as they are derived from God's purposes for men. In Essay on Toleration, 1667, written 1 year after meeting with Shaftesbury, Locke argues that purpose of political rule is to maintain peace and security. The sovereign should not interfere in subjects' actions that don't harm peace. Due to political tensions and accusations of treason against Shaftesbury, Locke spent several years in exile in the Netherlands, 1683 to 1689, where he wrote many of his most important works. Important works: Letter on Toleration, 1689, two treatises on government, 1690, Essay concerning human understanding, 1690, Second Letter on Toleration, 1690, Third Letter on Toleration, 1692, Fourth Letter on Toleration, 1692, The Fundamentals of the Constitution of Caroline, 1692. Two treatises of government, published anonymously with the subheading, in the former The False Principles and Foundation of Sir Robert Filmer and his followers are detected and overthrown, for the first treatise, and the latter is an essay concerning the true original, extent and end of civil government, for the second. Robert Filmer's Patriarcha, or The Natural Power of Kings, was published in 1680. He justified the absolute power of contemporary kings as a paternal inheritance from Adam, the father of all mankind. Locke's first treatise is criticism and rebuttal of Filmer's arguments. According to Locke, paternal and political authority are different and cannot be justified on same grounds. A father's right over children is because they can't take decisions in their own interest due to immaturity when they are young. The freedom then of man and liberty of acting according to his own will is based on his having reason. Like Aristotle, for Locke, political authority, unlike paternal authority, is exercised over equals. It has to be based on consent. The consent of the people, then, is the basis of all political power. Political power consists three types of powers. The power to make laws, both to preserve and to regulate the lives, activities and possessions of subjects, legislative power. The power to use the force of the community to execute these laws with penalties of death and lesser penalties, executive power. The power to wage wars to preserve the community, including colonies and subjects abroad, against other states, federative power. Two treatises of government, Chapter 1. State of nature. ACC to Locke, state of nature is a state of freedom and equality. The state of nature is a state of peace, goodwill, mutual assistance, and preservation. No one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty, or possessions. The individuals have the right to defend these rights. Individuals possess three rights: right to life, liberty, and property. The state of nature was a golden age with three exceptions. Three problems: lack of an established settled known law, legislative, lack of a known and indifferent judge, judiciary, lack of authority to execute the law, executive. Individuals decide to sign a social contract and set up a civil or political society. Aim: to protect the rights of life, liberty and property. Limits on government. In civil or political society, legislature is supreme. The preservation of the members of newly created civil, political society requires 4 limites on the legislative, promulgated, established law, not to be varied in particular cases. Laws ought to be designed for no other end ultimately, but the good of the people. They must not raise taxes on the property of the people, without the consent of the people, given by themselves, or their deputies. The legislative neither must nor can transfer the power of making laws to anybody else, or place it anywhere, but where the people have. 2 Treatises of Government, Chapter 11. The contract was on 2 levels, between the people themselves, between the government and ruler. It was made to enforce the first contract, right to resist. In the last 2 chapters of second treatise, namely, titled Tyranny, and of the Dissolution of Government, Locke repeatedly argues in favor of the right of people to rebel against a government which fails in preserving their life, liberty and property. The government or prince is the reason behind the cause of anarchy. In the beginning, the people will try to redress their grievances through legal means. If then also, government itself breaks the law and acts illegally, people will resist. The dissolution of government doesn't mean the dissolution of society, and it is the society which chooses a new government. Comments. According to Laslett, Locke was neither a spokesperson of the Whig orthodoxy nor a defender of the Glorious Revolution of 1688. Macpherson saw Locke as an apologist, possessive individualist and a theorist of bourgeois society. Ashcraft argues that Locke was a revolutionary and he has created problems for both left and right. According to Louis Hartz, Locke is America's philosopher king.